So here's a very obvious difference. It's got images, and we pop one up for you. Let's just get a compass up. So folks, this is a compass. It has a pencil and a place to hold it, and it has a 2/3 length of arm. It doesn't even go to the end. That's so that you can put the pencil there, and this is a point, and it holds on the paper, and you draw circles. A compass is for drawing different types of circles. You reduce this here, the pencil comes in, draws smaller circles. You extend this to where it is like now and draws bigger circles. So that is a compass, folks. Okay? In a geometrical set, here's the compass. It has a place to take a pencil. Okay, I just showed you over there. These are dividers. They are the equal length arms like this one over here. They are dividers. Okay? This is not a compass. This is incorrect. These are... Oh, sorry. This one has a pencil point. Sorry, folks. Excuse me. That is a professional compass. That is a pencil point. They're tricking me. I did Google compass. It's my fault. But let me just show you. Let's just expand this again. So these are two different compasses. Sorry. That one gets a pencil, they're mechanical. That one's got a pencil point. But here is your divider. Two equal points, equal lengths, and this is the Masonic divider. So let's just go to... Let's just pop up divider instead of compass, and I'll show you the difference. Nearly fooled myself there. Glad I saw that. And so these are your dividers, folks. Simple, any one of them, they're all the same. Dividers, they are for dividing, okay? That's a divider. That is what you're seeing in the Masonic picture over here. This is a divider, okay? A divider. Alright, you see the points there? This one hasn't got two... This one's a better point, or this one. It's a divider. Look at the same length. Comes to a point. No pencil involved. Please, folks, let's get this right. Everybody out there, focus and spread the word. There's a divider, not a compass. Everybody refers to it as a compass in the Freemasonic symbol. This is not a compass. It's a divider. Compasses are for feminine divine geometry. This is for masculine dominant geometry. Please, folks, it's like... I don't know what to say. It's like saying a skirt is shorts. It's not. One's for females and one's for males. Not getting gender-based, and anybody can wear anything they like, but it's just the idea, you know. What can we use? Everything's neutral gender now, so it's difficult. But generally in the past, flowers were for females and whatever was for a man, maybe a tool for his job, you know. So compasses are for feminine geometry. They're for drawing circles. And dividers are for male geometry. Because the Freemasons are a male sex club ruling the world. Comes from the ancient male sex clubs that have ruled the world forever. And, well, not forever. The world used to be symbiotically community-based, which was when it was run by nobody and ruled by nature. And let's go with it here, folks. We used to be ruled by nature. We used to be ruled by the Versica Pisces and the flower of life and the laws of nature and fauna and flora and how they interact. Yes, there was predatorial behavior from animals to other animals, which seems cruel, but it also seems necessary. Because in a fauna, flora, natural symbiotic situation, one would have to have the animals die and new animals born, and same with plants, and something has to clean all of that up. Plants become compost and biodegrade, but animals have other animals which clean them up and clear them up. herds. On a herd basis, the herd stays strong because the elderly are devoured by predators, and sometimes the young are taken, unfortunately, but that's a cruelty of nature. It's just because they're available or weak, as are the elderly, but the elderly should be taken and the new generation should keep the herd strong. But the point is the herd stays strong. It's all about evolution and continuation. It's all about continuation, actually, let alone evolution. It's not about evolution, it's about continuation. It's about continuing, staying alive, regenerating, continuing the race or the species. That's what it's all based on. Nature. Somewhere along the line of communities living in nature and living as the Native Americans used to live, and many other communities around the world, the Native Aboriginals, the Native Alaskans, the Native Africans, all the native people of the world lived by nature, by natural law, amongst nature, with nature, for nature, completely engrossed in nature, eating from nature, drinking from nature, totally living by the sun and the night and the day cycles, fully engrossed in the cycles of life, natural life, nature being the ruler of that life. Meaning there is no ruler, because nature is just a system and you're part of it. So there's no ruler, there's just a system and you're part of it. It's like a community. Somewhere along that line, about 13,000 years ago, came a dominant force from elsewhere. We relate to that as Mars and the civilization that used to be on Mars, self-destructed with nuclear war, pretty much due to the fact that they came to a position we're in now, basically replicated it here on Earth. So they came from Mars after the destruction, brought the moon as their HQ, Council of 12, come to Earth and begin replicating their civilizations that were on Mars on Earth. Hence you see the pyramids and many other constructions, ancient civilization constructions, following the mathematics of 12 and decimal mathematics, the mathematics of these people, the mathematics of the invaders of nature, the mathematics of the creators of civilization, the mathematics of the AI gods, the artificial gods, the Martians, the Masons, the Mason Martians, the Martian Masons, yeah, sons, the sons of Mars, the sons of Ma. These people have come to Earth, to the creation of nature. How is nature here? How is such a perfect symbiotic fauna and flora system here that works absolutely perfectly? Who created that system? Certainly not the Martian Masons. Oh no, not the sons of Ma, not the sons of Mars, not them. They create civilizations. They come down and they clear spaces and they concrete and then they build cities, remember? With these tools. They make them in right angles and different lengths and heights. But all boxes on boxes. Squares on squares, cubes on cubes. Black checkered and white checkered floors, black and white checkered floors. Even in Mecca, when the Muslims travel to their Makkah in Mecca on their pilgrimage, they circle around a big cube, a square, a Masonic symbol, and they are about to build in one of their smart cities, the Cube City, this massive cube to integrate a whole world inside it, an artificial world based on Bluetooth projections. What you're seeing, folks, is the Masons have a master plan. The master plan is to cease your existence by 2030, or at least 8 to 9 billion of you, and to put the rest of you elites, only the Masons will survive, only the ones signed up into the Masonic rituals and the Masonic society. Even some of the lower ones, they still need you, but only the Masons will survive. If you're not in the society, you're not invited. If your name's not on the list, you're not coming in. So all these names and elitists are being gathered at the moment to be put into these smart cities where they will be protected. And the rest of us will become like Hunger Games. You will be the outsiders, and you will have nothing but that you can survive and scrounge for. This is the idea of 5G, 6G, 9G, controlling these robotics. You need high power, high energy. It's like having a 12-volt battery, a car battery, and trying to run your house. It's not going to work. You might get a little 12-volt light going, and that's about it. So you need more and more gigabytes for more and more smartness. And that's more and more radiation. That's more and more death. More and more cell death called cancer. So that's where we're going. These people bring you poison in all your food and water. They poisoned all the waters of the Native Americans and poisoned their lands and stole their gold, because these people are gold hunters. That G, that could be for gold. And that's been going on hundreds and thousands of years, the mining of gold and the thieving of gold from various areas for usage. These are the people who steal, pillage, murder, rape, kill, sacrifice, use rituals, dark magic, demons, entities, jinns, all sorts of anything dark and devious that can do any sort of destruction and damage on their behalf they will use. You are looking at the hand and symbol of the elitist dark forces. It doesn't get worse than this symbol and these people who follow this. And there's millions of them. And they're planning to decease you, de-life you, through their agenda process, the agenda project of 25 and 30. But Agenda 2030 has the human population decreased down to 500,000 from the now 9 billion. So you do the maths there, as I said, 8.5 billion people need to disappear. What are those people? What becomes of them? Do they get shot, murdered, burnt at the stake, evaporated, nuked? Do aliens come down and gather them up and eat them? Are they alien fodder like cow food? I don't know. You tell me. You work out what's going to happen to all these people. They're all us, me and you. What's going to happen to us? Because these guys have a plan. Yeah. So please understand that these are your master masons. These are your master builders. These are your civilization creators. They create civilizations. And they enslave you into those civilizations out of the community you used to be part of. The free community, the free nature, your free right to roam as a free man and woman on common ground under common law. Do no harm, damage, or do no harm to anybody. Do not damage their property. That's the basic laws. Do no harm or damage to anybody. Bring nothing harmful to anybody. Be a peaceful, decent person and go about your life in a communal way, carrying out your duties if you're so bound to. That's it. It's simple. Oh, no, 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 no. Come these guys with their godly, gold, grand mastery, gravity, geometry, laws and status. The Council of 12 come down and dominate the world by throwing concrete everywhere and putting up civilizations where nature used to be. Literally where your food and life used to be, they threw concrete and enslaved you to their life and fed you their food. That's who these guys are. Whether it's Donald Rumsfeld, the ex-Secretary Defense Minister of America, becoming the Food and Drug Administrator Director and poisoning you with aspartame, or whether it's him going in with his sarin gas into the Middle East and killing people outright, whether it's any of the presidents other than the murdered presidents, Kennedy, I think JFK, and the other one, Lincoln, standing up against these guys and going, hang on, are you fucking crazy? Yeah, they dead. Every other president said yes sir, no sir, 3 bags full sir, carried out every 32 and 33 degree level of Freemasonry ritual that they needed to, including child sacrifice, child murder, bestiality, animal murder, woman rape, murder, pillage, all sorts of theft and deception. They are all the Scottish rites, 32 Scottish rites of Freemasonry. Explicitly the 33rd Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. And those are the public rites. Beyond the 33rd Rite of Freemasonry, they are non-public rites. We're not even going to go there because they're non-public. You would have to be a 33rd degree Freemason to know what the 34th degree is. So, I think it's fair to say that without attaching names like Luciferian and Satanic and devil worshipping, we can just simply say these are inhumane. The Freemasons are inhumane. They're not human. They're not pro-human. They're not for humans. They're anti-human. That's what they are. They've enslaved you into their Freemasonic system. They built a civilization and put you in it to work the civilization, because they're not going to work their civilization. It's their fucking civilization. You're going to work it. You are going to be the slave and you're going to do all they say in their civilization. You are not in charge. They are. And you are going to run their civilization, and you are going to run it by the love for the currency that they put into the situation, the energy called money, on which you find this symbol showing that the Masons run the money. You will find this symbol everywhere that's important in the world, because it's showing that they are in charge and they are running you and they are ruling. And the male dominant Grand Master is in charge, the God figure, the Freemasonic male dominant figure, which is dominant over all feminine divine understanding, all females and all children. Just look at the systems being in place. Just look at the oaths. Just look at the laws when you go into studying Freemasonic rituals and law. You will understand what these people are about. These people have just introduced, not only in the past did they introduce what's called education to deceive and brainwash you into a false reality, but now they're introducing sexucation. It's not education anymore, it's sexucation. They have recently brought in, and you can check this out, so from the age of 6, a new curriculum to teach 6-year-olds and up masturbation in school, male and female. Are you fucking insane? But if you want to understand this new curriculum of schools, as if pumping religion down people's throats at school wasn't enough. I mean, what's religion and school and education got to do with each other? But anyway, now it's sexucation. Yeah? If you go into Masonic legislation and read what you would have to do become a Mason, you find out that some of their agenda bases are not just to have masturbation taught in school, but to have sex practiced and taught across the board in schools. Not only do churches become brothels when they're not churches and places of ritualistic sacrifice and murder, rape and pillage, not only are the altars used for that, now they want to bring sexucation and practice into the schools, basically pedophilia, into school as practice. The people that run the Masonic Society on the 33rd degree levels are very, very sick and psychotic individuals. And I think should alert you the fact that their behavior is anti-nature, anti-human, should alert you to their predecessors and who is in charge of the Freemasonic Society that is ruling the world. Who is actually in charge? Who is at the top of the pyramid of this Freemasonic Society? You will find that you step outside the realms of humanity. You'll find that this story goes a long way back. To shorten it, we could take it back to about 13,000 years. And we would have to say that written in the Sumerian texts, you find the story of Amun. Amun is the genetic creator. Amun created human genetics and humanity, the primitive form of humanity. We are now the modern form. Hence you went through what you're calling Neanderthal, Cro-Magnon and Paleontolic stages, which are different experiments of man, different genetic experiments, and then wiping out the man that was not needed anymore and developing the new man for the new age, which is the exact thing, the exact phrase being used at the moment under this Masonic Society of Norvus Order Seclorum Annuit Corpus. That is exactly what they want. The new age and the new man of the new age. What I mean by that? Well, giantism. Giantism is very real. You can see it in people today. Giantism was very real a long time ago. It has been purposefully dissected from the population so we don't remember giants. There's a reason for that, which I'll get to. But just think about how effective giants are in mining gold. They are much stronger, much bigger, much more powerful, and they can do a lot more, a lot quicker in the mining gold, in a raw, gross, moving rock type behavior than a modern human could do. Let's reverse those roles. Let's put a Sasquatch Neanderthal giant at a computer. Quite. Now you can see how each creation of what's known as humanity, or each creation of the species that frequented the last 13 years on this plane as slaves, because there were other species that were the masters, but the slaves were created for their jobs. As today you are taught in education and created for your job. So you take on certain lines of education for certain types of jobs. You study accountancy and you become an accountant. You study plumbing and you become a plumber, and so on and so forth. The same in their the running of their occult is the same as the laws that they lay down through their education systems, etc. So these people, through Amun, Enki and Enlil, and the stories from the Sumerian texts, the creators, the genetic creators of humanity, created various species of humanity over the last 13 years to suit their necessities. And now with the modern species with little bodies and big brains to function the computer age, to take the computers into a robotic age. And once they have fully functional robots with all the consciousness of humanity inside those robots because we gave it to them, then they will make us obsolete, bar the elitists, which will be in the smart cities and paying for their lives, basically. So this is the master plan of the Novus Ordo Seclorum, the new age of man. And these guys have been planning this a long time, creating civilizations, and the civilizations being damaged or wiped out by natural changes, and then moving the civilizations to other areas and recreating them. So basically, when people say, oh, you had a civilization here in Machu Picchu, and then you had a civilization in Egypt, and you have a civilization in the Orient, and there's civilization ruins over here, and these are all the same civilization. If they're different timings, they're just because the civilization got wiped out and then they rebuilt it. It's simple. It's just all the civilization creators on the same mathematics, basis in decimals, 10, 01, binary code, Council of 12, 666, divide, divide, divide. The reason why 666 is the numerical ratio of carbon. So 666 is the carbon, is the human, and that's basically what they're ruling. They're ruling over the humans, over the carbon-based beings, us. Anyway, this ancient rule from Sumerian times, Amun and his sons Enki and Enlil, the genetic creators, who then just created various species right down to us over the thousands and thousands of years. Well, Amun is the white Christian God who everybody prays to and finishes his name in plural of Amen. You follow all the Sumerian Masonic rituals in the church, in the Catholic Church, in various other churches, and you pray to the ancient reptilian God, Amun, under Amen in the plural. You finish every prayer with that. So it's very obvious, folks, when you look. You find this Council of 12, this reptilian agenda, these reptilian species that created humanity and control humanity are still doing so and are now known as the Freemasons, and the species which obviously stays in the dark, out of the limelight, controls humanity through secret societies which are repugnant, in the words of JFK, and should not be tolerated. These are the creators of these secret societies across time and space. Now, several secret societies have arisen to fight and to attempt to overthrow this type of constant monarchical, hierarchical, Her Majesty's sort of dominance over man, governmental authoritizing over man, control of mankind. This type of control of mankind is still going on today in the form of psychological operations, in the form of psychological deception, in the form of deletion of the left eye, the right brain creative feminine information and the expansion of the left brain, right side, the male brain, the male side, the male dominant form, the male idea, the domination control of the profane, vulgar creatures known as humans. So this is from a non-human entity working through humans who sell their soul to these entities to then control the world. And at the moment, we've got to a point where through the WEF, the World Economic Forum, and the WHO, the World Health Organization, and the UN, the United Nations, working through all these other federations, companies, corporations of authority like the CIA and all the M's and the police. These guys' symbols are all over. All of these military, Navy, Air Force, all of these areas are dominated by the same society, and they dominate you and me, and we are the slave race of these people. Now that's been going on a long time, but the thing is, it's coming to a crux of a matter right now where you need to understand that these people are not just dominating your life at the moment and allowing you to live in a slave way and giving you money and it's kind of okay and you can scrape by and it could be worse and all that bullshit. No. These people are coming to kill you. They're coming to murder you. They're coming to genocide you. They're coming to cause domestic terrorism within your homeland, within your country. They're coming to cause civil unrest. They're coming to bring their Antifa trouble causers to come and stimulate sharing of misinformation and to stimulate riots, cause trouble, entice people to go down lines they want you to go down so they can then punish you in the ways they want to punish you. Be very careful, folks. The Freemasonic Society, the gods, the Grand Masters, they want to punish you as usual, make you suffer, because that's the vibration they live off, your suffering, your fear. But now they want to decease you, terminate you. It's time now. In the next 5 years, they will hatch the plan known as Agenda 2030 through the World Economic Forum to inform you and go ahead with an alien invasion, which they will say will bring a viral outbreak to the plane, and for your own safety you will have to go back into lockdown. None of it will be true, but damn it, it's going to appear true. They're going to put on a good show for you folks, and they're going to try to take complete control and never let you out your doors again. The reason why they build civilizations, you see, and boxes, is for you to stay in, Jack. They like you as Jack in the box, and they don't like Jill out the box. In fact, they don't like Jills at all. So they don't need woman for natural birth. They genetic creators. They have no respect for woman and natural birth. This is of nature. This is of the Syrian creation, the creators of nature. Those that when you look at what you call your sun, you find that your sun and the Syrian sun are the same sun, superimposed and in perfect electromagnetic connection. They like have a metal bar between them, the Syrian sun and your sun. That is a doorway, a portal, through which Syrians travel regularly, the ones who created this world, nature. This natural world, the Syrian system, the Syrian creation, the Syrian experiment, this wonderful ecosystem, this fish tank and terrarium, this beautiful place that has been invaded by these bastards with their idea of Anut Coptus Novus Order Seclorum, And the number under here, if you see, the number under the pyramid makes 666. Yeah, when you take away the other zeros that are not relevant there. These people are telling you they're coming to bind you by binary code with the O1s, with the decimal count. And they're going to bring you to your termination. They are going to decease most humans and only utilize the elite of the elite to continue living in their smart cities, because everybody else is despicable. We're below them. Yes, we're the ignorant, pathetic dogs that they don't like. So yes, folks, that's about it on where we come from. As I said, this has traveled 13,000 years through time, and I'm not going to go through all of it, but through time and space until now. And you have these people attempting to dominate with the usage of not just legislation and law or legality and statutes and acts, but they're trying to, and the admiralty law, a law created unto themselves, the law of the sea, they call it, because it's the larger expanse than the land. The law of the water, you see, the law of birthing, and they control, you see, they control the water, they control the waters of the woman, they control birthing, and the doctor docks the birthed one, you see. Because, folks, they're afraid of birthing, because it's free. They can't know the count of the human race. They can't keep a tab on a birthed one. If you genetically created and barcoded, you kept tabbed. They know where you are. Once you have free birthing woman, that's the whole point of a hospital, is to give you a birth certificate. It's not a birth certificate, it's a birth number. It's to tag you. It's your tag. It's your Masonic tag that you hear in the system, in their system. That's why birthing, home births or non-registered births, that's what you could call them, are very disliked, because they lose track of that human. They're kind of off-grid forever. They don't like that at all. That's the worst enemy. So understand, folks, this is your control mechanism. These are the people here for you. These are the people who have come for you. This good man like myself is trying to tell you that. And you need to resist them in every way possible, because otherwise they're going to implement this new world order, which is basically the end of you and the implementation of them and their order. One thing I will say, folks, just so you understand in closing, many of these symbols are used in a negative and a positive way. Like this is the Israeli or Star of David, or the Israeli flag, design on the flag. But this is also a tetrahedron. This is also the dimension, the three-dimensional vehicle of light in which you are in a two-dimensional format, made into prisms. So a three-dimensional, a triangle, adding a point there and attaching, gives you the depth in the triangle, gives you a prism, a three-sided, three-dimensional figure. And if you make this one into a prism as well, you have double interlocking prisms. That there is known as a tetrahedron, and is the vehicle of light in which you exist at this moment in the third dimension. And the reason for that is fully explainable. Whereas you should be living within the sphere, within this circle. So if you took everything in the circle as information, and everything in these two triangles as accessible information to you, and all this is non-accessible information that used to be accessible when you were a circle, that's where you are now. You are locked in an enslaved tetrahedron in the third dimension. And the only way out, and your only real necessity, is to expand this tetrahedron back to the sphere. And in that way you will recall all of your missing knowledge, and you will know who you are and why you are here and what your purpose is, and you can get on with it. That is called ascension. The ascension process is to ascend up the hedronic ladder, up the dimensional ladder, by expanding this third dimensional vehicle of light into a fourth dimension, fifth dimension, sixth dimension, seventh dimension, and eighth dimensional vehicle of light is the full sphere. It's the full octave, the eighth dimension. So you expand this tetrahedron to a hexahedron, to an octahedron, to an icosahedron, and to a dodecahedron, and back to the sphere. These are all shapes expanding this one towards the sphere. So you can go and see your hedronic shapes. I'll give you a quick, show you what I mean. Let's put the hedrons up. Let's put a tetrahedron. See what that gives us in images. Brilliant. There they are. There's your hedronic shapes, folks. So these are called your polyhedrons. So all these shapes are your polyhedrons, and this is what I was talking about. So here you have a tetrahedron. It's a triangle in 3D, so it forms a prism. And then you have a hexahedron, is a cube, an octahedron, you have a icosahedron, a dodecahedron, and then a sphere. So you see how close this is to a sphere compared to that. So when you put that in a sphere, in a circle, you lose a lot of information. So basically, imagine yourself in a sphere. Can we inscribe that in a sphere? Let's have a look, see. That's in a... It's coming close to a sphere there. We can just say tetrahedron inscribed in a sphere. We're going to finish up now, folks, and we'll get on with part 2. Just to show you this. So that's it. That's a tetrahedron, or that's a sphere. That's a prism. It should be tetrahedron inscribed in a sphere. Double helix. Sorry. Better add that. Double helix. Maybe we get there this way. Double helix tetrahedron inscribed in a sphere. Makes sense to me. Can't see it. I've drawn all these pictures. They're in my books, folks, but let's just get the helix word out and see. Ah, there we go. So something like this. It needs to be a... Here we go. Perfect. See this figure here, folks? This is the one we want to look at. This is a tetrahedron. And this is a double tetrahedron, or two tetrahedrons interlocking. Or, yeah, two tetrahedrons interlocking. That is the third dimensional vehicle of light inscribed in a sphere. That is what you are in the third dimension. Put your physical body in here, like Vitruvius Man, like the Canon of Man, and that is what you're in. Now that figure expands from that size to that size to that size to that size. Do you see how it's in the sphere? Do you see all the space? And the space gets smaller and smaller, and then almost none. And then when you go back to a sphere, there is no space. If you see that space as information, this is all the information you can contain right now. Actually, this is in a double helix. This is all the information you contain right now. That's in this double helix tetrahedron. All the information outside of it you lost, you forgot. This is your forgotten memory. You've fallen from grace. You've fallen down the ladder. You have descended. You have descended from a sphere through what this shape is called, which is a dodecahedron, down to a icosahedron. Sorry, this is icosahedron, down to an octahedron and a hexahedron. This is the octahedron. Yeah, it's not in line here. So you've come from here, almost fulfilling the circle, to here, to here, to here. Actually, that's the way it goes. It's the hedronic ladder where it goes, basically fills out the space. That's what you're doing. It may go this way, who knows? But you're filling the space. As these geometrical shapes get larger and larger, filling the sphere, they are memory. You regain memory, and in effect, in reverse. So when you're here and you drop down, 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 you only retain this much memory, and you forgot all of this that's outside of that shape. And as you ascend up the dimensional ladder again, you regain your memory, you regain your wisdom, you regain your understanding of etheric, energetic body and self. And you go all the way back to fulfilling the sphere, being your full octave, your full octagonal self, functioning in full harmony. But at the moment, you're just here in the third dimension, in this body. So just to take you back to the beginning, folks, and these guys, these are the master builders. These are the master creators of civilization, the master enslavers. These are the guys that have come and destroyed nature and built cities everywhere and polluted the natural environment, and nature is suffering and dying due to these people and their poisons. This is the regime running the world at the moment. Doesn't matter whether you look at China, Russia, America, or UK. They're all the same. They're hand in hand. It's one order running the world, pulling the wool over your eyes. There is no Ukraine-Russian fight. There's no American interaction. They're all one order, lying to you, using psychological operations to get you where they want you, wherever that is, for whatever reason. They always have these agendas, plans for humanity. Now, the plan is written in stone on the Georgia Guidestones that they want to murder 8.5 billion of you. If that doesn't get your attention, nothing will. So in part 2, folks, because I'm going to finish up now, we're going to go into the Council of 12, and exactly how they control you with time, using your 12-hour clock, dividing it by 66, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 6, 6, 6, 6, 12, 12, 12, 24, 24. These are all the elements of 3 utilized for control, not for freedom. Whereas we should be working in 13, which is a chromatic octave of music and all things, a chromatic octave of energy, created from the pentatonic scale and the C major scale, which is the C major scale of 8, do, re, mi, fa, fo, la, ti, da. The music scale, the first 8 white keys on a piano are the first octave on a piano. The rest of the white keys are repeated octaves all the way up. 8 times 8, 8 octaves on a grand piano. The pentatonic scale, the black keys on the piano, the pentatonic scale, they're the 5 keys, and the 5 and the 8, the pentatonic scale and the C major scale, combined to make 13, the chromatic scale. The chromatic scale on music. 13 is the chromatic scale. It's the scale of the spiral. Because on 13 you can move through 12, and then the 13th is a spiral. It cannot be divided like 12 into 2 6s or 3 3s. So 12 can be divided, 13 cannot. 13 is a freedom number. It's a number that allows you to spiral through to your higher potential, and 12 is a number of dominance and control. I will show you these pictures in the next video. In part 2, I will show you 13 and its spiral effect. I will show you 12 and its dominant boxing effect. Remember the sides of a cube. keep in mind the four points of a fort, the 4 points of a square. 4 times 3, 12. We'll go into numerology, the numbers. We'll go into symbology, the symbols. We'll go into of 12 and 13 of system 12, the invasive system, the council of 12, and of the system 13, or the sisters of 13. System 13, which is the freedom system of nature, Syrian system, Syrian sister system, Syrian female system of nature, feminine, divine, symbiotic, peaceful, beautiful, compassionate, empathic based Syrian natural system, compared to the grand mastery, God, gravity, global geometric domination tactics and agendas of the Freemasonic male domineering society. The anti-naturists, the anti-feminists, the anti-naturalists, the anti-humans, the genetic creators, following their gods, which we will go into. Please watch the this guy before. Then I don't have to cover all his stuff as well. He will show you quite categorically all that side, Baphomet and the Freemasons and that side of the Illuminati and the celebrities and such. When we come back in part 2, I will show you the side of System 12 and System 13 and Moloch, the god. Moloch is the son of Baphomet. Baphomet is like the god of the Grand Masters of the Freemasons, and Moloch the owl is the son of God, of their god. So let me just show you who Baphomet is, so you know this horned god guy. So this is the Freemasonic god, this Baphomet. He has horns to represent devil and devil worshipping and the symbolism on his head and stuff. And he has breasts of a woman and the genitals of a man. So it's an androgynous being who worships the reptilian creators, his reptilian creators, which is Amun, the slave master of the human race. So this is the depiction of the god of the slave master of the human race, basically. This is the god of this is the slave master. This is the satanic god, the Baphomet, the Luciferian god. And his son, like if this was the Christian god and his son was Jesus, this is Baphomet, the satanic or the Masonic god, and his son is Moloch, the owl, which you see all across Moloch the owl. These are various depictions of Moloch. So this is Moloch the owl. This comes from ancient. This is thousands of years ago. They had Moloch the owl. Sumerian, Babylonian, they all worship Moloch the owl. I'll just find a different description or picture, and of course you find Moloch the owl on the patterns of the street patterns all through the Masonic areas like Washington. You find Moloch the owl on the dollar bills. You find Moloch everywhere. Okay, you put Moloch in and slightly different name and it's into demons. I think that's the correct spelling. I may have one L too many there. I'm just trying to find more of the representation of. I mean, this is crazy. Look at this. This is the sacrifice of children. This is the sacrificing their children to this god Moloch. There he's not seen as an owl, but he's an owl god. You see, some of this depiction is confused with Baphomet and Moloch, so they're not sure what. So they just kind of depict it like this because it's very new age. But it's quite clear that Moloch is the owl from Bohemian Grove. If you go to Bohemian Grove, where you find all your 33-degree Freemasons from around the world, all your presidents from around the world, actually, you've got, I think it's Jimmy Carter, and you've got the boys here, the Bush brothers. They're all at Bohemian Grove worshipping this Moloch the Owl, this doing human sacrifice. They say it's all an act and theatre, and they're all dressed up in their clothes, and you hear a child gets taken out of the river and put on here and burnt, and you hear it screaming, and they say it's an effigy. They say it's a play, a theatre, a recreation of sacrifice to their god Moloch, but some believe that it's true, and the amount of children going missing across the world, I think it's in Australia, the guy before, Robert there, tells you that it's at least 20,000 a year or something, or 80,000 a year. It's ridiculous amount of children just going missing for no apparent reason. So the apparent reason is child sacrifice by the Freemasons and their satanic rituals to Moloch the Owl, you see. Now, the thing about Moloch the Owl here is that Moloch also has horns, and Moloch is like the sun, the messenger. So Moloch would be the messenger of Baphomet, the god I showed you before. There we go, there's your owl. So there's the Bohemian Club, are ruled by this owl. You'll find this owl everywhere. And when I come back and deal with the Council of 12 and the Sisters of 13, I will show you some very, very interesting anomalies of 12 and 13. And basically I'm going to show you 12 agendas, one at a time, and explain them to you, and explain to you how these 12 agendas lock together into one massive deception of the human race, and have been for thousands of years. But just to close off, I'm going to show you something very, very disturbing. At the point of these people, please realize, is to destroy goodness. Whether you believe that's through Christianity or Muslim or Hindu or Buddhism, these people are here to instill evil and destroy goodness, destroy empathic compassion, love, kindness, sharing, human qualities, community. Across the board, they're here to introduce evil and destroy all goodness, and all, just to introduce profanity and the base of reality, to drop the vibration, to lower the vibration, to entertain fear, murder, rape, pillage as a normality, including depravity and high levels of molestation, etc. These people, they live and breathe human destruction and base reality and fear. They literally live off human fear. And the way they get to that is through deception. The deception. The owl is the deceiver in their case. The one that sees in the dark. They are the dark. I'm going to show you, while we're on religion, I'm going to show you how these people deceive you. One massive deception. I'm going to show you a close-up of the face. Moloch the owl, so nose, face. Let's see where we get here, folks. Yeah, we have an owl. Yeah, we have Moloch the owl. This is quite a good one. Whoa! Moloch the owl god upon the ball. Ladies and gentlemen, please, may I introduce to you Moloch the owl. I don't know what happened there. Let me just delete that because you don't need whatever that was. Folks, look carefully. Moloch has horns. Look carefully what Moloch has. These little peaks, the sticky out nose, these big eyes. Look at the owl here. Notice how an owl looks. It's got this bit coming down to its nose. Yeah. Let's have a look at another owl. Look carefully how these horns stick up like that. Sometimes there's a tuft on the top of his head here, the owl. But it definitely comes down into the nose like that with big eyes. It's kind of squared off face. But this definite V here. Let's just study a few owls, folks, and let's have a really good look at owls. And there's an owl. Have a really good look at the face. There's the owl. So the owl is used as Moloch the owl everywhere. Sometimes it has a tuft on the head here, some owls. Let's just go and get a normal owl so we can... Maybe we should close a few of these because we don't need to come back to them. And then we get... Okay, let's pop off and get a normal owl. So here we have imagery of a normal owl. And you'll see what I mean by the tuft on the top of some of these owls' heads, as far as I know. No, we seem to have the same shape, don't we? We seem to have the same shape, yeah? I thought there would be a bit of a tuft, but yeah. Okay, I think you can see an owl. Let's pretty much get the idea of an owl. Right. Let's leave that owl right there. I'm going to show you something. If I put this in front of you and said to look at that, maybe we have to just flick the light on for you. If I said to look at that, perhaps you would see the outline of an owl. See the ears and the squareness. Look at the owl. So let's bring up an owl looking straight at us, perhaps, like this one. And I think you can see a likeness in the ears there, possibly. It's not exact, but it's just a formation of possibly ears likeness to the owl. And let's pop back to Baphomet, to Moloch here. And we pop up the Moloch owl. And we can see a likeness to the ears of the owl. And of course there's our horns there, but a more normal owl will give you those ears. Right, so what I'm showing you, folks, is that there is the outline of an owl. But that there outline, remember it. Because when I show you that outline, I will show you where it comes from. So, the depiction of this is the outline of that. That owl, that owl, that owl is that owl. See the ears? See the line that comes down here to the nose? Look carefully, folks, especially as we put a shadow on it. As we move it away, you see the owl. As we move it in, you see a reverse picture of what some would call blasphemy. But I was brought up praising this guy and this photo and this picture of this guy, Jesus. I was brought up, if we turn him over, you will see who we're looking at. This is the modern depiction in the Catholic Church of Jesus. This is what everybody was brought up with, the picture of Jesus. I'm challenging you to reverse the image of Jesus. Turn it over. And you will find that hidden in plain sight is Moloch the owl, the son of Baphomet, the Masonic god, not the son of the Christian god Jesus. Look at the owl. Look at the big eyes. Look at the ears. Look at the lead of... Look carefully, folks, especially in the silhouette. This is no game, folks. This is purposeful. The Savior, the person you worship, in reverse is Moloch the owl, the one they want you to worship. The Luciferian son of Baphomet, the Masonic evil god. Yes, folks. Hidden in plain sight, like everything, like was hidden on the dollar bills. I'm not saying Jesus is evil. I'm saying that the picture that they showed you of Jesus is a psyop, a conspiracy. They are hiding Moloch, their god, in the picture of Jesus that they're selling you as a Christian son of God. Go and find other pictures for yourself, folks, and you will see these people, their art is the art of the owl, the dark art of the owl, the art of deception. The grand masters, the grand deceivers, the grand masons, the gods of gravity, geometry, and pure lies. Your grand deceivers, your grand masters, as Robert Clancy tells you, and I'm telling you, System 12, the system of human destruction, the system of psyops, the system of using psychological operations to control humanity, is the language of the Freemasons. The language of the Freemasons is psychological operation through symbolism and information control, disinformation, reversed symbolism, reversed information, lies and deception, obfuscation, telling you one thing and the other thing and letting you work out what the truth is, giving you both concepts as truth, basically deceiving you outright, is the language of Baphomet, Moloch the owl, and the Freemasonic Society, which is now running under that name and has run under various names for thousands of years. I've shown you in prior videos their symbolism and such like. In part 2, I'm going to go deep into the Council of 12 and the Syrian Sisters of 13, as I call them. Basically, I'm going to explain to you how the Masons are ruling you in 12 different ways that you have not realized. And they are deceiving you by putting you out of time. They are putting you out of cycle. It's like trying to sow seeds in the winter and expecting a crop in the spring. That doesn't work. You need to sow the seeds in the spring and expect the crop in the summer. So when they put us out of cycle, we are sowing seeds at the wrong time of the year, and we are not bearing fruit in our reality. What that means is we have been deceived of our soul purpose and our soul journey. We have been lied to about why we are here and who we are. We need to decode the deception, understand who we are and why we are here, and get on with our job, instead of living the manipulated lives that we are living, manipulated by the Freemasons, thinking we are doing what we are supposed to be doing when we are not, thinking we are doing it in the timing cycles we are supposed to be doing it in, and we are not, thinking we are moving to an ascended status, but we are descending. What's the solution to the problem? Wisdom, knowledge, knowing your enemy and outwitting them. If they are more highly armed or trained, you need to evade. But you need to know that. So knowledge first. So in part 2 we'll learn about System 12 and how it's deceiving you. Syrian Sisters of 13 and System 13, and how you can get back onto your natural cycles and back into feeling yourself and learning about who you are, why you're here, and what your purpose is. And once you've broken the deception, once you've shattered the mirror, once you've obliterated the lie, once you've woken up, once you've seen the truth, once you've seen the bigger picture, once you've finished your jigsaw puzzle, once you see, then you can begin to learn again all about your spiritual self. But first you have to see and decide, okay, that's not for me, and this is. Freemasonry and male dominance is not for me. Remembering who I truly am and why I'm truly here, and being a full, whole human being, yeah, that's for me. Gaining knowledge and tools to practice ascension and actually raising my vibration and becoming a better me, yes, that's for me. Well, that's what we're offering. Signing out.